Like we got a good group together, so I'm just going to jump in and talk a little bit more about the DYNOflex, starting with really what is it. It's an exterior windshield protection film, and the purposes, applications are pretty diverse. Just about any glass surface could benefit from this. And I'm going to let John speak about a little bit more as to why, and with the technology growing these days, why the windshield protection film is more and more desirable.
So the OEM windshield that's in your car is not only the best installed application, rather than having an aftermarket windshield installed, but there's also a lot of expensive sensors that need to be adjusted and calibrated each time you put a new windshield in a car. Also, what a lot of people don't realize is that people are chipping and breaking pano sunroofs. So for example, if you have a Porsche or Mercedes-Benz or Tesla, something with an expensive glass roof, if that gets broken, it can be quite an ordeal to get it replaced based on not only the cost, but also the time that the car's going to be down to get the parts. They're not always so readily available. So with the Flex, because it does conform so well, we're able to apply it to not just windshields. So if you want protection on the side glass from anti-graffiti or damage, you can also do the back windows or the panel roof if someone so desires that.
Definitely. So now there's been a lot of kind of chatter on the forums across social media about this windshield film in particular, and there is one key component that makes this vastly different than the other products currently on the market, and that is the base plastic that we are using. So this is one of the first windshield films to go on the market that has a TPU, or a thermoplastic polyurethane based plastic. And so that is exactly what we're using in traditional clear bra and paint protection film. And so the application process historically has required heat shrinking and was using a PET based plastic. And with the introduction of the TPU, we've eliminated that heat shrink component. And that, as you have experience with some other windshield films, you know that shrinking process can be a bear. And so we wanted to make your guys' life a little bit easier, and because these products are so important, easier for your customers to get their hands on as well. Diving off of that, what you can expect in the install is a very similar process, fundamentally speaking, to just traditional paint protection film. The prep is just as important. A good prep will help make sure you have a good install. You want to clean the glass. And thankfully, the glass surface is so hard that you can use a good variety of techniques, whether that's ISO wipe down or using something more aggressive. And once you prep the surface, you're gonna wet the film, just like you would PPF, wet the surface as well, get extra slip on there. Something that you will notice and unique to this kind of PPF or windshield is going to be that the tack of the glass is a lot greater than a paint surface because it's a lot smoother of a surface. So you will want to use extra slip, a little bit more soap in that ratio than you would for just a painted car surface application. But following suit, making sure you got plenty of moisture in there, you start laying down the film and you can start mocking it up, getting those official or first cuts, I should say, to cut it to shape, and then you can start squeegeing out. We do recommend probably using a stainless steel blade so that you can get the perfect shape of the glass in there without a risk of cutting into the glass. But once you have completed that squeegee, you're going to be able to trim and walk away. Their install is done. Thankfully, the glass surface will tack up really quick, and so the cure time is pretty quick following that. The general squeegee technique is going to be just like PPF. We would recommend starting at the top of the glass, doing good, thorough, long strokes, and try not to overlap too much either, just to keep the adhesive at peace and avoid any distortion there. But that is the revolution, is it's going to be a wet application, squeegee out, trim, and you're done. And I think that is a huge appeal for a lot of installers who have recognized the challenges and the time commitment required for traditional installations. This means that you can get a lot more customers in and get their cars taken care of in a lot shorter of a time. And so maybe there's a more competitive price point that you can offer for that retail customer as well. Now, branching off of just the install, in terms of maintenance, it is going to be in the film's best interest to keep it clean and take care of it. And so a couple of our best suggestions there is we're introducing a product called Cure. And this is designed to clean and rejuvenate the windshield film. Now, cure is going to be available for you as the installer, and your customer would maybe be able to buy a bottle for you as well. And it's something that would be super easy for them to apply about once a month. And that will just keep the film really optically clear and keep the hydrophobics very strong. So, and on that note, realizing we should probably back up just a little bit and talk a little bit more about the properties of this film. And what we're going to be marketing is just windshield protection. But for your insight and to help us get through these initial months of durability, this film is actually top coated. It has a hydrophobic top coat and an instant self-healing property. Now, again, these are short-term. They will fade out just over 3-6 months. Not covered by warranty, and again, we're not going to market that. But we want to let you guys know so that you can kind of maintain that top coat to maximize the life. And so that Cure product I was mentioning is going to help bring back those top coat properties and hydrophobics, which should eliminate how much windshield wiper use you got to use, and ultimately the wear and tear that the film will see. Now I'm going to let John speak about a little bit more of the real world application, what you can expect when you get it on your vehicle, how long the film is going to last, and kind of maybe a best practice for taking care of that as well.
Well, just like any other windshield film that you may have sold in the past, the lifespan of this material really is going to be based on the usage. And when I say usage, it doesn't matter if you're driving around town, but if you're using your windshield wipers a lot. Here in Seattle, we use our wipers a lot, and it's going to abrade the finish. It's going to scratch the film over time, but it's protecting a very valuable windshield, and it can be replaced maybe a year, 18 months later, and just put a new piece of film on the car and you're back to a clean, crisp windshield again. Now, one of the things that you will notice as soon as the film is installed, it does have a tremendous gloss to it, but it does take a little while for the moisture underneath the film to fully evaporate away. So it does have a very good clarity. And again, you'll notice that glossiness immediately, but you may want to wait a few hours before presenting the car to your clients, as you may have some squeegee strokes, some marks in the film. Now, in terms of durability, we think that the puncture resistance of the film is excellent. Also, it absorbs impacts very well. So a PET film, which is a polyester film, is very hard and brittle, and that is what is traditionally used as windshield protection. And it does a very good job, but with a large enough rock or high enough speed, definitely you can still shatter glass as you could with ours, but with it'll need a little bit more force. Because the TPU film is softer than a polyester or PET film, you will probably get some little marks from rocks hitting the film over time. Some of this can maybe heal if it's just a light depression or light depression, but it will. Your windshield is designed to, it takes a lot of abuse. It takes a beating, and the windshield wipers will do that as well. So, as far as having a film they can apply easily to your windshield, offers great clarity. I think your clients are going to absolutely love the film, but there does need to be an expectation set of what a windshield goes through, because it's not like the paint on your car where you're washing it with a wash mitt. It's being scrubbed with a rubber windshield wiper thousands of times. So it gets abused, but it does the job. It protects the glass, and that's number one.
Exactly. And I think, as we transition to kind of talk about this in your shop and in your business, it is going to be really important to set that expectation. Just like clear paint protection film, it's not a bulletproof layer, and you might get into some trouble if you kind of overpromise. And so setting that expectation that this film does take a little bit of maintenance to get the most life out of it, and that you will see some wear and tear just over the usage of it, is going to just set your customer up to have a realistic experience with that expectation. And that means that they're going to be a lot more happy and pleased with the results and performance of the film. And in contrast, I do think that, as John was saying, that TPU is going to be a big difference, especially for those track cars and all that, where you're having those high-speed impacts. I think we'll see a lot more of that bounce off versus puncture through the film and damage into the glass. So really real world experience. And as we get more rolls out there and more feedback from our installers, we'll have a little bit more stories to tell you guys about. But generally, we think the technology here has come quite a long ways, and it's an exciting development for the entire industry. Now, we want to transition a little bit and talk to you guys just about this in your business and about kind of the retailing of it, how to sell it, and then also, relatively speaking, what's a fair price point without getting into too many details. So as far as presenting it to your customers, I think the points that John touched on earlier, talking about really the cost of replacing your windshield, of recalibrating your windshield, not to mention the time and the insurance calls that you have to go through to tackle that, means that the value and demand for this is definitely growing. And it doesn't have to be anymore for just the super high-end exotic luxury cars, because the install can be tackled pretty quickly, meaning you can offer it at a fairly affordable retail price. And so even your Subarus that have the lane tracking, the eyesight these days, and the calibration are going to be a great customer for this film, as well as your Lamborghinis, your McLarens, and Porsches. Now, a little bit more about kind of retailing and just considerations for you guys as far as that maintenance goes. To get the most life out of the film, you have to take care of it. And so maybe consider adding in your initial retail cost a follow-up appointment where they come back in maybe every 3 or 6 months for you guys to do a good maintenance on the film, a strong decontamination, and a retop of that cure product, or another good one would be maybe the STEK finish, these spray sealants that will bring back gloss, the hydrophobics, and really rejuvenate the film. And that can be a good way to also build that customer retention, build a working relationship with them, so to speak, and make sure that they're coming in and they're having a good experience with the services you offered. Now I'm going to step forward here and just kind of scroll through some of the questions, make sure we're touched on everything you guys wanted. So just 1 second. Excellent. So we have one question: has it been tested with a ceramic coating? So in the States so far, we have not done like a scientific test with a clean level variable of multiple different brand ceramic coating. But because of the nature of TPU and the top coat technology, it's assumed that ceramic can be applied over the top coat. And as we mentioned, the film is hydrophobic initially, but that will fade off. And so maybe a great idea is actually adding another ceramic coating that 3 or 6 months down the road to keep the water beating off. And I'll let John speak to that too, just if he has any other thoughts.
Yeah, so Michael's exactly right. But one of the things we've noticed when we've applied ceramic to any type of a windshield protection film is that it needs to be fully cured. So if you are applying a ceramic, an hour later, you're running the windshield wipers, it's actually, it hasn't fully cured, it hasn't bonded yet to the substrate, and you'll actually see it cause streaking, probably ruin the wiper blades, chatter, cause some issues. So if you're going to apply a ceramic on top of it, we're not against that. I mean, we think it does certainly provide some level of protection for the film. It's going to give you that nice water bead, keep the film nice and glossy. But I would probably ceramic coat it and allow it to at least cure overnight before you're driving the vehicle in the rain. Excellent
point. And on that, our warranty is not going to look at if it was ceramic coated and the variables there. That's not going to dismantle the warranty by any means. And we'll just kind of take it situationally. But I wanted to dive a little bit more into that warranty, because I think that was maybe a question as well. It has officially a 1 year's manufacturer's warranty. So that's covering any delamination, bubbling, yellowing, or cracking within that specified time period. So pretty general manufacturer's warranty. The material itself is covered, but that wear and tear from windshield wipers, the properties of the top coat, as well as, in worst case, it punctures through, that is not going to be covered. It is just the nature of this film and protective films. They are a self-sacrificial layer. So they'll be taking the impact instead of the glass, and that is serving its purpose. But other than that, as a manufacturer, we will be standing behind it and its performance for 1 year.
And based on actually how this film is manufactured, with a lot of other windshield protection films, we've seen a lot of delamination of the top coat. And that's because a scratch-resistant top coat cannot easily be bonded to PET. And so with the TPU, with our top coat, we have yet to see any delamination. So we feel very strongly that it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah. Excellent. And now a very popular question as well, when will it be available? We are in full volume production. So we're going to be bringing in boat orders, air orders. And if you're interested in getting on either one of those, you can contact myself, Michael Honn, or either of our other sales representatives if you have their contact. And if you've never talked to us before, just shoot us a message over social media or fill out a contact form on our website, and we can get you to either pre-order. We're expecting our first shipment of this regular inventory to be coming in just a couple of weeks, and that's for this air order. But to have regular stock, it is going to be as far out as probably about 8 weeks from now. So if it's something that you guys want to jump on, definitely let us know. We can get a roll aired in for you. Otherwise, we'll be happy to help you out in about 8 weeks when that boat arrives to us. Let's see if we have any other questions. As far as availability internationally, it's going to be a similar timeline. I believe your distributor should have that air order option being as soon as just a couple weeks, or if they're opted in for a boat as we order, it could be as far out as 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just going to read that a little bit closer. Yeah, so recommendations as far as installation is really to go slow, just like anything. Get a feel for it on that first install, the first couple, and treat it just like PPF. See what those limitations are, and getting hands-on is really going to tell you what this film can and cannot do. But in our initial feedback and initial samples we had out, a lot of installers were impressed with just how easy it was. Looks like another question in here. It's going to be applied on the side windows. Yeah, it's going to apply to any glass surface that you want, whether that's front, rear windshield, side windows for safety, or even the roof. As far as pricing, that we'll leave up to the individual distributors just to communicate with everybody, just to make sure we're being respectful of all relationships and keeping everyone's value there. Got one more. Awesome. So let us know if you guys have any other questions. We will be making an official announcement here on June 7th. Will be the release date for DYNOflex. And I believe our international partners in all 75 other countries or so will be bringing that to market at the same time here, June 7th. Alrighty. Let's read a little bit closer. Yeah, we are excited too, guys. We think this will be big, and hopefully make your life as the installer, the shop owner, that much easier. We know how much busy back and forth there is, and to have one product that's just straightforward and very applicable to almost anyone on your crew is going to go a far way. Awesome. John, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I would say just in terms of marketing the film, just like any other product you're currently selling for windshields, probably the price is going to be comparable. You're probably a little bit more in material cost, but your time and your efforts and having to redo applications because of defects is going to be a lot less. If you're selling it as an individual product, if someone's just coming in for that, I would probably, $350 to $750 would probably be a pretty reasonable sale price. If you're adding it onto an existing service where you're already doing the front end and you're not having to re-prep the vehicle again, you could probably take $50 to $100 off of that.
Awesome. So we have two other questions here. It looks like one is training. Oh, so sorry. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So two other questions. One is training on the windshield film. If you have PPF experience, you won't really need any additional training. If you are coming into our Intro to PPF training course out of Redmond here in Washington, we are happy to walk you through one install of the DYNOflex throughout that course. And then we also have a question about commercial glass. Is it going to be safe for commercial glass?
Good question.
That is a great question. Historically, I understand that window film for automotive and commercial is quite a bit different because of the heat blocking and absorbing properties to keep the glass in one piece. And I'm not sure how the effects of flex would change that.
We can get back to you on that.
Yeah, good question. Cool, guys. Yeah, so again, if you want to get in touch, if you're interested in the pre-order list, contact form, email, call us. If it's helpful for you guys, my direct email is just michael@stek-usa.com. And Michael spelled Michael. I'm happy to point you in the direction of your local distributor or give you a little bit more details as far as that warranty, the technical data sheets and such. And then we will be doing our best to bring in volume, get it readily available so that whenever you guys are calling and need to get an order going, we can get that out the door just as soon as. But again, just to set that expectation, we are probably as far out as 6 to 8 weeks to have this readily available.
Also, we do have a video coming soon showing the installation.
Yeah, excellent. And we, with that video, we'll have additional marketing tools and more literature and all this built out here in really just the coming weeks. The team's rushing to it, but we were so excited to build this product and have it pass quality control. We wanted to get on the front line, let you guys know what's coming and what we can be excited for in the future. A couple more questions coming in. Awesome. So I have one question here about Dyno Black. We are going to keep this pretty much geared towards the windshield film, but in just really short, each other fashion film has a 10-year warranty. And so that line of paint protection films is going to be completely separate than this line of windshield film. But hopefully that helps you there. Yeah, so bird droppings, will they leave any acid stains? That is a great question, and the answer in short is yes, if they're left on there for a long period of time. To get really the most life out of it, when you are driving and have a lot of bird droppings or bug guts on there, it's in your best interest to clean that really as quickly as possible. I would say definitely within 1 day of those landing on the film, and that will just help make sure that it can't etch in or chemically stain the film. Alrighty, so let us know again if you have any other questions. I'll try to find if we can get a recording of this video, share it on our YouTube or anything for anyone else interested. But we greatly appreciate you joining us here on this Friday afternoon, and I'll be very excited to bring this to market here in just the coming weeks.